This is Michael LoveJoi. You're here at the LoveZone at the Urban Bookstore at 20 Old Turnpike Road in Pleasantville, New Jersey, TTSO Studios. We have the illustrious urban entrepreneur here, Mr. Daryl Scott, who's given us some tidbits on what it's going to take in order to turn this thing around here in Atlantic City. We had a conversation some time ago in reference to money.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I'd like to ask you, the money that we use every day,
Yes.
the ones, the twos, the fives, the tens, and etc., etc.,
Yes, sir.
is it real?
Well, at this particular point, it's not.
Could you explain?
And I can substantiate that because it's what you call a fiat currency. Just like the car fiat.
Yes, sir.
A fiat currency is a currency that doesn't have any backing, gold or silver. And what has happened is, at this particular point, the U.S. Treasury has just been printing money, as much as $85 billion a month.
So you mean to tell me that what we've been killing ourselves for,
Yes.
murdering for,
Yes, sir.
stealing for,
Yes, sir.
it actually has no value?
No, it's just paper.
Just paper.
It's just paper.
Did you hear that, LoveJoi Nation? It's just paper. So everything that we do is for the inspiration or for the attainment of money. But you're saying that what we have invested ourselves in is virtually for nothing.
Well, like I said, the U.S. dollar is known globally to have the full faith of the multinational corporations, not the full faith of the U.S. government, because the U.S. government does not set monetary policy. The Federal Reserve does.
Yes, sir. Now, to explain to our friends and family out there
Yes, sir.
the difference between the two, the Fed
Okay.
and the United States government.
The Fed is a board of governors, bankers, that in December 1913 had a small quorum, and during the Christmas break, when Congress was out, they formed the Federal Reserve, a group of bankers, and basically they worked for the Rothschilds, Paul Wahlberg. He was part of setting it up, and Jacob Schiff, under the guise of the Rothschild family.
Yes, sir.
And what happened is that at that particular point, up to that point, the U.S. government really didn't have any major debt. Okay? And what they did was, they said, okay, a dollar, a $5, $10, $20 used to have on it a gold certificate,
Yes, sir.
or a silver certificate. And with that particular piece of paper currency, you could take that to a bank and you could retrieve it for a certain amount of precious metals, whether it was silver or whether it was gold.
Yes, sir. Now, if you did that today, and you walk up in Bank of America, whatever bank you bank at, and say, I want to redeem this for a certain amount of gold or silver, will you be able to redeem that note for a precious metal?
No, you won't. Because our monetary system is not based on having it backed up by precious metals anymore. It's a fiat currency. It's just printed by the Treasury Department. But the monetary policy is set by the Federal Reserve.
Yes, sir.
Which is the bankers.
Yes, sir.
The bankers control the money flow of the U.S. currency.
Okay, now, I have a book here by Mr. William Greeter.
Okay.
It's called Secrets of the Tongue.
Okay.
He said in the book that the American people would have a revolution tomorrow morning
Yes.
if they found out how the banking system operates.
That's true.
Now, they talk a lot about confidence after crises, after Katrina, after hurricane, and they're talking about the consumers having confidence. Are you saying that this is a confidential game that we're playing in reference to the monetary system, because it's all based upon what you believe to be right and proper? You believe in God we trust. Is money God?
Negative.
No, of course it isn't.
Negative.
But to some people it is.
Well, that's to the misguided. Money is just a means of acquiring first the things that you need, not what you want. The things that you need: shelter, food, able to, put gas in your car, things of that nature. That's the real deal with money. But when you have people that put money in front of a law and things of that nature, they're misguided.
Well, I'm going to ask you this, Mr. Scott. Seeing that we just recently had the debt ceiling raised twice,
Yes.
could you explain to our friends and family out there what does it mean to raise the debt ceiling in actuality?
Okay. Raising the debt ceiling means the president, he goes to the Congress and the Senate, and they give him permission, basically, to print more money.
Fiat money.
Fiat money. Which the U.S. government has no jurisdiction over the Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve is a separate entity unto itself.
Yes. The U.S. government has no jurisdiction over the Federal Reserve.
So who is in control of the Federal Reserve other than the bankers? The bankers have it lock, stock, and barrel.
Central banks are the bankers. They set and they create what they call LIBOR. That's the interest rates. Okay? LIBOR is the interest rates. They set the gold rate. All this comes out of the Bank of England. The Bank of England is the bank that runs the world. That's the Rothschilds Bank. The Rothschilds have two entities that they solely own. Royal Dutch Shell out of the Netherlands is a top oil company of the world.
Yes.
And the Bank of England. The Bank of England sets the monetary policy as far as interest rates and gold rates on a daily basis.
So all the policies are being dictated not by Capitol Hill.
Negative.
But all the policies you're saying is dictated by London.
By London.
Interesting.
London.
Interesting.
Yeah, London.
Well, Mr. Scott, let me ask you this. We've talked about education a little bit, and we've talked a little bit about the monetary policies and who sets the policies. Now, you have something here for the people to see.
Oh, yes, I do, brother Mike. Okay, I have. This is copper, and copper has a lot of uses, as far as industrial use.
Yes.
Plumbing, automobiles, housing, computers. And what has happened is the Chinese are deep in Africa, and what they've been doing, they've been buying all the copper. Mainly out of the Congo and other African nations. The Chinese and the Indians are accumulating silver. These are silver coins. These are half-ounce silver coins. They make them in half-ounce, 1 ounce, 5 ounce, 10 ounce on up till they get to the big bars. The Chinese and the Indians are selling their citizens silver and gold in their banking system. They have more outlets for silver and gold than they have Starbucks and KFCs.
Oh, interesting. Now, let me ask you this. Those who are buying the gold, are they buying the gold and the silver at the rates that are set by the monetary policy makers and the Capitol Hill, or perhaps London?
London. Right now, today, the price of gold is $1,300 and something dollars, $1,300 plus dollars. The price of silver today is $19.65, and the price of copper is $3.30 or 40 cents. Okay, these are the three main precious metals. Now, the other precious metals that they don't talk about are super expensive, but they have a lot of industrial use, and they have use in aerospace and in medicine. That's palladium and platinum. Okay. The jewelry part is very small. Okay. They don't talk too much about them, and they're out of reach. Silver is considered the poor man's gold, but silver is going to outpace gold because of its industrial use. Okay. But back to the outlets that are selling more silver and gold to their people, because they realize that there's going to be a crash, and it's going to be bigger than 2009, and it's going to change everything that the way you do business. But before the crash comes, the monetary system is going to go cashless to all credit cards. They're going to take the magnetic strip off of it, and they're going to put a chip in it. And I'm talking about it could happen any day now.
Any day now, according to Daryl Scott. There you have it from the urban entrepreneur himself. And Daryl, I want to take a short pause for the calls once again. And as we come to the last segment, we want to get a little deeper.
Okay.
And how this is going to impact our community. And how and what can we do to ward or keep this thing from injuring us or perhaps hurting our community. Can we do that?
Sure.
This is Michael LoveJoi here at Urban Bookstore in Pleasantville, New Jersey at the TTS Soul Studios. I'll be back in 2 and 2.